Hello, I'm Srirupa Dhar from Columbus, Ohio, in the United States. The book trailer that you just watched is about my novel called For a Drop of Rice Water. This is a historical fiction primarily based on the Bengal Famine in 1943. This part of history has way too long been hidden away from the world, especially the English speaking world. This famine was a result of the scorched earth policy of the British. The British, under the leadership of Winston Churchill at that time, was apprehensive that the Japanese might enter their colony of India through the eastern part, which is Bengal. So during the Second World War, they actually adopted this policy by which they tried to make the lives of the Japanese hard. They confiscated all modes of transport from the villagers in Bengal, so the fishermen lost their boats and the villagers also lost their bicycles. And worse still, they lost their food. Rice, which is the staple food of the people of Bengal, was taken away from them, even though, ironically, rice grew in abundance in the early 1940s. And the farmers, the poor villagers themselves who had grown the rice, were deprived of their food. So they flocked to the nearby city of Calcutta in search of jobs and food, but they were stripped of all human dignity, and what they wanted was just a drop of rice water, and that's what they begged from home to home in the city. And the book also, as you watched in the trailer, is a coming of age story. It traces the inner life of a young naive boy who changes into a mature individual against this background of suffering and hunger in the 1940s colonial India. I am touched to share this news that this story, which was hidden away from the Western world, has reached the Western audiences through my novel. And my book has been selected in various book and literary festivals here in the US. And in one of the festivals called the Ohioana Book Festival, the governor of Ohio, Governor Mike DeWine himself, was deeply interested in this story of the suffering of these forgotten villages of Bengal. And the book is also carried by one of the largest independent bookstores here in America and in the libraries too in the US. It's available on various online platforms, including Amazon. I am thankful to Hawakal publishers for letting this story out into the world. As a Bengali, I've always felt it my responsibility to tell this story, especially to the English speaking people who were not aware of this part of history. And as a writer, I feel connected to the past and be a part of the story of all those 3.8 million people who lost their lives to this politically crafted famine. And in this story, despite all the darkness and suffering, is in the end a story of hope and human resilience. So I would like to end by reading a short passage from my novel. This is towards the end of the book, where Choto, the young protagonist, is just in a mood of introspection. One day he believes he will see this light in its fullness, the light of the freedom that will speak the truth on behalf of the Indian people. The light that will make people know that the world has slowed down and put hatred behind itself. The light that will enable people to forget to be frightened, but not forget the inside pain that fought for their freedom. He tries to sleep. Once he closes his eyes in the chill of the November darkness, Choto recalls the scene of the Ganges flowing with its might, proclaiming its eternity and stretching into forever. He remembers that's how he felt when he saw the river from Ratan's window. The water kept splashing ceaselessly, the buttery sunlight entering the room and overwhelming Choto's mind and body. The boy from the village seemed to hear the sigh of all those rivers that he left behind, those sighs strangely combining with the waves of the Ganges and reminding him of the cruelties heaped on the harmless poor. The sunlight seemed to seep into the sighs, taking the whole world's burdens under the knowing waters. Choto had then thought that after his name is erased from the surface of this earth, the rivers will still remember him. All those invulnerable rivers that are bound to his being. They will be there with him, always and everywhere. And 1943 keeps echoing off the Rupnarayan River forever. Thank you.